Combat Sports Report. Today I'm joined by one of the more intriguing competitors. He's a crossover athlete from wrestling to Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, but don't let that fool you. He's coming off of a win at the New York City Invitational, $1,500, gold medal performance. Ladies and gentlemen, my guest today, Elijah Chacon. Elijah, how you doing today?
Doing great. Happy to be alive.
Well, I thank you for taking the time. I'm glad you're alive. I'm coming down with something. I might be dying myself. My wife went to Boston. She brought back, I don't even know what, but we're going to make it through this. So you come from a serious wrestling background. I feel like a lot of guys wrestle in high school and they say, oh, I'm a former wrestler, but you actually came from a real serious wrestling pedigree with the Indiana Tech Warriors. So could you kind of speak on that? That's obviously more of a grind than most people are aware of. Could you kind of speak on how that's shaped you as a competitor?
Yeah, it's a lot different from high school. I remember at the beginning of my college career, my freshman year, I went 9-13, and in college, in high school, I was a two-time placer. I thought I was a guy, and then as soon as I got to college, you could see that you're a little fish in a big pond. So a lot of those guys beat me up freshman year and got me a lot better, and I'm grateful to put 4 years in there, and I got infinitely times better in those 4 years than if I would have stopped after high school. So yeah, they're a really good program. They got nationals coming up here in a few weeks. Hopefully get a couple of those guys to come join me in jiu-jitsu after they're done. So that'd be nice.
That would be nice. And I've seen a lot of guys make this transition from wrestling to jiu-jitsu, and they make a lot of common mistakes. You see a lot of them getting choked on double legs, just simple things that they're not really used to just based on the rule set. So why do you feel you didn't really struggle with this transition, or did you, and we just didn't get a chance to see it?
No, it really came natural to me because it's super similar to wrestling. It's just different objectives. So like in wrestling, you're trying not to get turned, you're trying not to get taken down, you're trying not to get pinned. So it's just, instead of worrying about getting like wrist tilted and cradled and stuff, you just got to worry about getting guillotined and triangled. So being like aware of stuff that people want to do really helped me out in jiu-jitsu. So it's never been too hard. When people try to like enter your legs, it's like people in wrestling try to shoot on your legs your whole life, so keeping them off your legs hasn't been too much of a problem for me, but it's pretty nice. And I am a Pedigo affiliate, so a lot of those Pedigo guys wrestle and make the transition. So I get a scrap with guys like Brandon Reed and Michael Pixley and Borneman, all those guys who were wrestlers and made the transition. So they kind of show me some of the ropes when I get a roll with them here and there.
Right. And did you do that on purpose? I mean, Pedigo's kind of known for their wrestling pedigree, but was it just kind of right place, right time, or did you just kind of know this is where I'm going?
The stars just aligned right after Nationals, actually, about a year ago. I made a post about All-Americaning, and Dom slid up on my story and was like, hey, come to my gym. We're waiting on you. And I was like, all right, I just got done wrestling. I figured it'd be fun to dabble in it, but I didn't know how much opportunity would be here. But it's been great. We're connected with some of the best guys in the world. So it's awesome that it's right here in my hometown.
Yeah, it works out nice. And obviously Dom's kind of he's going to be on the show I think tomorrow actually, but he's a great coach. He's in a position I think a lot of guys want to be, where he's doing a little bit of everything. He comes from the wrestling background, but he's successful in MMA, he's successful at grappling, and he's putting together a team. So it's really cool to see. I mean, you guys kind of aligned and it worked out great. So could you kind of talk on New York a little bit? You walk into this bracket, obviously you're relatively new to the sport, but I mean, with the wrestling background, did you expect to perform as well as you did, or did you kind of think like, let's see how it goes?
I expected to perform well. I've been on like a lot of big stages in my life before, so I didn't feel like there was any pressure. It was just like another match for me. And I bang with a lot of good guys in the room every day, so it's just going out there and putting all that to work. So we had 4 competitors that were out there competing, and we got plenty at home that didn't get to go out there that are about to hop on the IBJJF circuit here in the Midwest here soon. So those guys, going with them every day, it's easy to go out there and win 4 matches.
Absolutely. And I mean, we really didn't show any slowing in the pace. Obviously that's that lifetime of conditioning you bring to the table. As opposed to a wrestling meet where, it can be a little chaotic. I mean, you're not entirely sure what order your match is. There's a lot of things going on in the background. And I mean, you're able to transition to competing center stage, all eyes are on you. And obviously that's the case for some wrestling matches as well. But with cash on the line, with cameras on, with that intimate setting. Do you feel any added pressure or nerves? I mean, you adjusted really seamlessly to this.
Yeah, no, we have performed many times with cameras and plenty of really big crowds, so it's nothing new. It's pretty easy, and but it was a little bit different, having money on the line. That's what made it a little nervous, because in wrestling you're just doing it for yourself, but to do it for some cash was a great feeling. So as soon as I won that finals match, I was definitely relieved.
So I have to ask, you're standing there holding the cash in your hand. You're in New York City, quite a ways from home. What's the first thing that's going through your mind? Are you going out to eat in New York City, or are you putting it in the bank? I mean, what does that look like for you?
We went to Times Square, so we just hopped on the subway, went to Times Square. We didn't spend too much money, thankfully, but no, I saved all the money and I bought a new car. So shout
Oh,
out to car and jujitsu for my new car. My buddy just sold me his Mustang, and it got me out of my old POS. So I was very grateful for that. So hopefully win some more money and then figure maybe get another car.
boom. That's good to hear. At least throw some D's on it or something. But
Yeah.
so you're still pretty early on in your jiu-jitsu career. I don't think we've even gotten to see like you scratch the surface of your game. Obviously, you have more submissions to learn and kind of not really holes to fill in your game. I guess just kind of bridging gaps. You know what I mean? From positions, things that are kind of unique to jiu-jitsu, more sporty, I suppose. So, what can people expect from you this time around? Have you added to your arsenal at all? Have you been working on your subs, or are you just kind of going to send your game that you know is effective?
Yeah, I've been very intentional with my training. Like, so I try to almost master one piece of my game, and as soon as I'm done with that, I work onto the next thing and onto the next thing. But I've been working we had a seminar with Pixley, and he was teaching a lot of his Darson front headlock setups and taking the back out of the front headlock. And I've been working that a lot recently, but who knows, at ADCC before CSR, I had like 4 subs just dropping back on people's legs and like 1 armbar. And then I went out to New York and just did a lot more wrestling. So we'll see. I got to keep you guessing.
All right. And I mean, I'm not sure if you've taken a look at the other guys in the bracket. Kind of a wide array of guys. A lot of them from the Pacific Northwest area, a lot of Northern California. But these guys are all pretty familiar with each other. They're kind of on the same regional circuit, and they're all familiar with each other's game. And I've mentioned a couple times, returning champ coming back, and people are like, I'm not familiar with Elijah. So I'm just curious. Do you like that where people are kind of unfamiliar with you, and you know that you can perform under this rule set, or do you prefer kind of putting the fear of God in people before the match?
It's nice to be underestimated. If they don't like expect me to go out there and shoot a bunch of takedowns and run around them, that'll benefit me. But eventually they'll find out and know. So it's a good either way.
Okay. So like I said, you're still pretty new in the sport. Where do you see yourself in the next, not necessarily the next year, but maybe the next 2 to 5 years, once you really start to get some momentum going? Are you looking to compete at ADCC? Do you have any ambitions for MMA? Are you going to throw on the gi maybe? What can we expect?
I think after winning CSR, I'd like to try to go to the other trials and approach it a little differently, because I went to the East Coast trials and I didn't perform as well as I wanted to because I wasn't really used to the rule set. It's more of a definitely like wrestling heavy rule set, which I'm good at. I just didn't go out and execute a good game plan. So with that money, maybe go out and try to win trials on the West Coast. But in the next year or two, I'd like to try to get on PGF. They got a lot of like, I saw we have one of the guys that went to a couple of those qualifiers, and I've trained with like Jet and stuff. So I'd love to get on one of those, and super fights just wherever the money is.
Yes, sir. Totally understandable. I mean, we've been seeing kind of guys, there's not really an official relationship there by any means, but we've kind of been seeing guys stand out at CSR and then kind of make their way onto PGF. It's kind of one of those things. Once you can kind of show people, hey, I can perform nationally, I can compete with guys, at this level. It's kind of on their side of things, it's almost like you want to get those guys that are relatively unknown but can still hang, and then they kind of build them up. So we'll see, man. I mean, it's Caleb's on this season, Jaden's on this season. Like you said, Alex Bannon didn't quite make it at the qualifiers, but it's definitely an upper echelon caliber of talent. So I mean, I wish you the best in that regard. Let's get you on the radar. Start a little hashtag CSR to PGF. We'll see where that goes. But now I'll turn it over to you. If there's anything we didn't cover you'd like to discuss, any shout outs, any sponsors, any thank yous, shoot, man, the floor is yours.
Uh, really, just shout out to Fort Wayne Submission Fighting. They've made me the man I am today, and without them, I don't know where I'd be. I'd probably be all big and tubby since I wouldn't be working out. But yeah, just thank you to those guys. Thank you to Pedigo for making all this possible, and changed my life. So that's really it.
All right. Well, I thank you for the time. Elijah Chacon, gold medalist, cash prize winner, possibly Elijah two bags. We're going to see in a couple weeks here, but he'll be back in action. Make sure you tune in. Venturecombat.com. Hit up Elijah to get his promo code. Help him out here a little bit. But Elijah, I appreciate you. Thank you for the time. We'll see you in Portland this time, not New York. Wow. So we'll see you on the other coast this time around. But
yeah.
Wish you the best, man. Thank you for the time.
Okay, have a good one.